Hi. Just so you know, none of this is scripted. Everything I've said is right at the top of my head. I've got nothing in front of me telling me what to say. So I'm going to be as unscripted as possible. I hope you enjoy it. I'm Rene Gauthier. That's Renegauthier. That's because I'm not Scottish. And as a matter of fact, I'm very much Canadian. Um, I have roots in Quebec. At least half my entire family is from Quebec, and then I have roots in England, Italy, and Ireland. Well, I sort of got into it by accident, watching tattoos. Um, I was a former cadet as well, and did a lot of marching. So military bands, I always enjoyed. Pipe bands, I especially enjoyed, and I sort of started getting into it as an adult because my wife's brother was a piper, and he even has his own band. He is the pipe major of a street band, the Grimsby Pipe Band. And when my son started learning to pipe at the age of 8, I decided that I would start getting into drumming and start learning the tenor. Then eventually start acting as a backup bass drummer for the band. And then afterwards, I dabbled into snare. So I got into all three drums with the Grimsby Pipe Band, and eventually played bass with three competition bands, and eventually started carrying the mace. Um, I enjoyed I enjoyed drumming a lot, and I enjoyed basically being the only playing member of a band that was also competing as a drum major. But while it got some prestige and it got some respect from some of the people uh, around us, it didn't sit well with everybody. So I finally came to the conclusion that it was time to stop drumming and start focusing on drum majoring. So at this point now, I am the drum major of the Guelph Pipe Band. Well, the reason why it was called semi live was because I originally wanted to do the show live with Carol, which I'm sure you've seen. Um, I had to record it because YouTube would not allow me to do a live stream until I've waited 24 hours somehow when I have activated the darn thing. You know, sometimes you got to read the fine print before you start doing something. It's just really funny. Well, I'm using StreamYard to do the presentation when I have a guest on, and the problem I ran into was my network wasn't doing a fast enough upload into up to the StreamYard server for it to be able to process everything correctly. Um, we had our network hiccups between each other, but as soon as we got through halfway, things started really clicking. We started having a better discussion. We could actually talk to each other, which makes things a bit better because when you're doing an interview with somebody, the last thing you want happening is for somebody losing certain words that you're trying to say. My beginning monologue, you guys probably missed the whole darn thing because I saw it too, and it was a complete disaster. I was not happy with that. But the whole reason why I put it in like that in its entirety, because to not do that would be to not follow the spirit of the show that I was trying to present. And it's a show that's supposed to be live, it's supposed to be unedited, it's supposed to be completely spontaneous. Well, thankfully, I'm only doing one show live a week because that's what the whole format of that show is supposed to be. But I already have concepts for a results show, a highlight show, and possibly, if people won't mind it, maybe follow a band at one of the events from the arrival, practice, tuning, into the circle, out, final thoughts, results, final thoughts on how everything went and how a band member would view everything went. Get a nice look at the pipe band life. But of course, it's a concept that I'm trying to share with everyone, and finding people who could volunteer to do something like this is not going to be easy. And I'm going to do just about everything I can to make sure that I get that. Well, I'm doing this because I like doing stuff like this. I like the media. I've always been into radio. I've always been into TV. I've had the knowledge, and putting it all together makes it a very interesting prospect. And so that's what I intend on doing. Even doing a recording like this to you, to give you good ideas to who I am and what I'm about and what I'm doing. That's stuff I like doing. And I hope I get to do more and more of this as I go along. And like I said, I'm doing just about everything I can to line up guests for the show, line up as much content as I can. I have a results show that I'm about to get going on, so it's going to be very busy, very very busy. Well, I'm located in a certain city in Canada, in the province of Ontario, which is and it's a little spot just a bit south of Toronto across the lake, and it's called the city of Hamilton. Now, Hamilton is a very complex city. It's a mixture of rural, urban, um, natural geological features such as the Niagara Escarpment, beautiful waterfalls. It is probably a far more complex city than, say, a Toronto or a Mississauga, because Mississauga doesn't have any farms. Hamilton does. There's a lot that can be said about a city like Hamilton, and we get to appreciate it every Labor Day when the Hamilton Tiger Cats beat the Toronto Argonauts. But that's another story. I want to cover as much as I can in the world. I want to give people the pipe band life as it's seen all around the world, from New Zealand to Canada to Scotland to anywhere in the world where there is a pipe band competition. I want to be there giving you the news, telling you who the next big band is, because when it all comes down to it, it all leads to one place, the Glasgow Green in Scotland. Well, I was a blogger. I've done a lot of writing. I've done a lot of creative writing in school. Did a lot of. I've always liked to express myself on paper, even if it doesn't come out right now and then. But then that's just me, unfortunately, and that's just one of those warts that I got to deal with now and then. But that being said, as I said, I've always liked doing radio. I've always liked doing television. I've done all aspects of a radio production, including editing. I've done all aspects of a television production. I've even edited television shows. As a matter of fact, I edited the very first Simi live show, and yeah, I had to do a lot of interesting work there to get out all the little bumps and bruises that I ran into along the way while trying to keep the spirit of its concept alive. And that's the most important aspect of it. Now, as far as getting into television and that, it is something that I've always enjoyed doing. I've always enjoyed writing. As a matter of fact, I've written all kinds of scripts. As a matter of fact, I do all my own writing for the shows. So whatever I report on and so on, it's all scripted. It's all written out because I'm lousy as a I'm lousy as a spontaneous speaker. I mean, if I didn't have a piece of paper in front of me telling me what to say and having the right words to say it with, I'd be going down in flames. Like, seriously. Well, I put some money up to do this. I've I've really ponied up here, and it is something that I'm very much looking forward to doing. As a matter of fact, this is something that's been a dream, and I'm looking very much forward to realizing all the visions that I've had in up here, and I hope more than anything in the world that everybody enjoys what I deliver because it's my passion, it's my art, and there's nothing more an artist loves than watching people enjoy what they're seeing. Well, I don't like controversy per se. What I do like to do is make people think about who we are in this little blue dot we call Earth, and who we are in our bands and the social aspects. I mean, people from all walks of life play in a pipe band, and they all have human emotions. They all have the same hopes and dreams as everybody else, but they all come from different walks of life, and it's time everybody understood that, because if there is no controversy, how can we critically think about what it is we are and what we're doing? Is it controversy? To some it is, but to others, they just want to be heard. And if I become that voice of reason, then so be it. Some people may not like it, but at the same time, somebody's got to speak up for everyone else from time to time. And if it's not me, then who would it be? What do I have behind me? I mean, back here. Okay, well, um, there's I have a slate, if I'm ever doing any form of television production and I'm using an external audio, I need something to mark where the sound begins. So that's very important if you're doing any kind of a video production and you're using a separate audio recorder. Beside it is my Lyrapipe that I earned graduating from Mohawk College in computer systems technology. It's one of my proud achievements, and it's a promise kept to my father that I would see this through. And today I have a very good career as a computer professional, and I have a company that very much appreciates what I do for them, because there are very few people who know what I know, and I'm pretty proud of that. I am. Now, before I get to that black thing, yes, if anybody, if you're outside of North America or outside of Europe, you're not generally going to see stuff like this. That is all the trophies that the NHL gives out, and and I think they came out with a couple more. Why? Because the NHL loves trophies. They love trophies. You won't see that in the NFL. You won't see that in Major League Baseball, but you'll see it in the NHL. Trophies, trophies, trophies. Especially the big silver one that I love looking at. And I do enjoy seeing that at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. Now, in that frame is my diploma from graduating Mohawk College. And finally, if you didn't guess what that was, yes, that's a bonnet. And am I going to be wearing it sometime this year? Maybe. But it's got to be set up right. There's got to be a certain dress involved. I'm definitely not going to wear that with a regular shirt and tie and a vest. That looks stupid. But I'm at least going to deck it out at some point. I mean, if a certain event requires a little extra touch of class, maybe it'll come on. But that's not really up to me completely. It's also up to the band as well if they'll let me do that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And, either way, I still have it. And it makes a nice family heirloom, don't you think? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video as much as I enjoyed making it. I mean, from time to time, I like to touch base with my viewers and make sure that they have a look at who the hell this Rene Gauthier guy is and why does he spell his name so funny. Well, that explains. I hope I've explained as much as I could. You have any more questions? I'll be more than happy to ask them. If you have any comments or anything to say, by all means send it in, because I'm broadcasting it. Especially if I have something to talk about. I mean, just the fact that you are responding to it says that you are listening and that you have something to say about it too. And if I can start a conversation, that's never a bad thing. I thank you so much for watching this. If you like this video, like it. Click that like button. And by all means, if you like to see more content like this, subscribe. I'm only making more of these. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.